Hello friends, welcome in. I'm Katie and this is Flosstube episode number 30. Welcome back if you're a returning viewer, and welcome in if this is your first time watching any of my videos. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm really excited to share with you some of the stuff I've been working on and doing the past couple of weeks. So if that sounds good, get comfy and let's dive into some crafts. I have a new start since last I recorded. It's almost done. It's so close. It's my quirky Quaker raccoon from Darling and Whimsy, and he is just about done. This is on a 14 count Ada. I'm making this as a gift for my 3-year-old nephew who is obsessed with raccoons. Everything he has is raccoons. It's his favorite toy, and he just loves them. So I thought this would be perfect. Just a little thing to stitch up real quick for him. And hopefully the idea would be that it would be something he would, hold on to and treasure for forever. But if not, that's okay. I'm really having a fun time stitching on this regardless. So he is almost done. I started this on May 23rd. I believe. So I've been working on him here and there for the past week or so. And it's been really good. I'm using all DMC conversion that came to just with the pattern. And then some of it I substituted myself because one of the called for DMCs is this light color that is also used in the belly of the raccoon. But it's just a little too beigey in my opinion. So I substituted for this more medium gray. It's DMC04, and I think it looks fantastic. It's looking really good. And then this is just white Ada from Michaels. So he's coming right along. There's a couple of doodads in here, and then a little bit around the outside of the frame. This guy, it's I can't count. That's really what the problem is. But it took me 4 tries to get this frame, the border of the pattern to line up. That was such a silly thing that I struggled with, but I eventually got it to match, so I was really excited about that. It just kind of made me realize some things that I was doing that was making it harder for myself, so that was good to, get that experience. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this pattern. I love all of the quirky Quakers. So I think I will stitch this for myself to keep in the future as well. I have a really cool hand-dyed by Rolanda that would be perfect for this little raccoon. And then when I give it to my nephew, I'm going to go find one of the free alphabets that Lord Libidan has on his website and stitch in his name here and try to finish it in a cute way, a little frame for him. Give it to him next time I see him. It's my little nephew. Yeah, I'm really having a good time with this guy. It's a cute little trash panda. Love that. Okay. And then my existing whips that I had from before. I have some progress on Maple Lane. Not a whole lot. I believe this got me at 60%, if I recall correctly. I did share it on my Instagram stories, whatever percentage it was, and I believe it was 60. I should write this stuff down. If you're new here, I never write anything down, and I always say I will, but I could check my Notion real quick. 61%, even better. The last time I recorded and I shared this project on it, I finished, I had not had this top bit of the tree filled in about here or so. And I filled in a little bit here and these leaves here, and the espresso machine. There's still 3 stitches that go there, but that's just onesie twosies. And then I will be ready to start the banner down below. There's quite a big chunk here that goes underneath, and then it'll be time to move the hoop so I can stitch in this section. So just loving this. I had not been picking it up a whole lot lately, and I was missing it. It was, we've had a lot of rainy days, and it's just the coziest. So I am going to be really sad when this is done, actually, because it gives me like the warm fuzzies in the best way. It's kind of silly, but it's true. And that's just a mystery 30 count beigey off-white linen. It's a very open linen to work on, as you could probably see, but I think it was a good first project on not Aida fabric for me. Okay, my next project that I worked on is Stitch for Pride by Dee's 20 Stitches. This is a year-long stitch along with monthly drops featuring transgender, gender non-conforming, and non-binary figures throughout history. Today is June 6th, Friday, June 6th, and I am almost done with the drop from January. This is Elagabalus. She was a Roman emperor in the early 200s, known for extravagance and kind of exuberance and big feasts and stuff like that. I don't think she was super popular with the people, but yeah, she was a Roman emperor, originally from Syria, I believe. And she was known for tossing rose petals, so that's what that is. There are some things to fill in around, little doodads, kind of like stars, but I think they could also be the rose petals she was known for. So I have a good bit of filling in on her sofa. I did make boo-boo somewhere in here, kind of the folds of her robe, but I think I'm just going to leave it. It's not too bad. Yeah, I want this to be a focus piece for June, the month of June, for Stitch for Pride. Well, yeah, technically it is Stitch for Pride. For Pride Month, stitch on projects by some queer designers, with fabric by a queer designer. This fabric is a 18 count Aida, the color Resistance from Mislaid Pages, and it is so good. There's a lot I could put on this, but that would look great on this, but this is really good. Like I said before, it gives like she's a constellation in the night sky, kind of glowy. So that is where I am with this project, and this is going to be one of my focus pieces because I'm so behind. And 'tis the season, so this one is going to be featured heavily in the rotation for the month of June, because I want to. So there. Okay, next is my Arctic Animals Sal from the Frosted Pumpkin. And I don't believe I had any of this filled in. That seems like a lot. The rock beneath the puffins, and I filled in some blue here. I've definitely lost momentum on this project. I've said before, but just the pixelated rock things are just kind of a drag to stitch. I'm not super loving it, but I do want to finish it, but it's kind of dropped out a little bit, so gonna pick it up again soon, I think. Maybe after the month of June, because I have other things that I plan on heavily focusing on. One of the one I just showed you. So that is where Arctic Animals is, and they are cute as can be. Like, all of their stuff is just extremely cute. I do love all of their patterns, but it's interesting that they have not announced another stitch along. I believe one of the pumpkins has been having some health struggles on top of a lot of life happening with him, so obviously I hope that they're okay and that them taking care of themselves is more important. So, and I'm not even done with the previous cell, so it's really not that big of a deal anyway. So that was Arctic Animals. And then Erdusia. I did get a little bit more filled in, kind of connected these two chunks together. And I'm working towards the edge of the page. So I can get a lot more filled in. It's just kind of like a bit of a wedge shape there. Excuse me. Fun fact, this is my second time recording this because I had thought I pressed record in OBS and I had not. That was very upsetting to learn. So this is the second time I'm talking to a camera tonight. So excuse me if I yawn a little bit. So this is on a paper pattern, so I don't really have stats, but I have filled in a good bit more. So is that like the purpley 718 there, and filled in some more kind of like a brassy, bronzy color here, and chunks up here. So, question for more experienced stitchers: does it matter when you add in the Krynic? Can you do it as you're doing your regular cotton or silk floss, or do you have to do it at the end like the beads? Because I know you do beads last. Excuse me, but there are some chunks where I would have to skip a whole lot and go out sort of on an island, so to speak, and that's gonna require being good at counting to get all the way out there. So if I can fill in more Krynic, then that would help with some holes. I think you can. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter with Krynic, but if you have any tips or tricks for Krynic, let me have them, because it is difficult sometimes. But it will look really good when she's done. Did I say this is Erdusia from Bella Filipina? It's my first Bella mermaid, and I'm so excited. She is stunning. These colors are just magnificent. Love, love, love. And the fabric is a sort of gradient ombre from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers in the color Maldivian Dreams. And that is all I really got done for Mermaid. That didn't really end up panning out so much for me. I was knitting. That's what happened. I was knitting a lot. Right. And last but not least, for cross stitch is the Freedom Motif Sampler. Yeah. So, I did get a good chunk of this done at Stitch North. I am pretty sure those are black-eyed peas and cornbread, perhaps. I did notice that the basket needs to be corrected. It's not right there. But I have been chugging away at this blue. This pattern, this project is going to be my other focus piece for the month of June. As far as cross stitch goes, I will probably still do some knitting. Yes, so since this is the month of Juneteenth, yeah, I know, right? Since this is Juneteenth month, I want to definitely get to focus on this project, to think about what Juneteenth is about and why it is important, and sort of what Nuri has written about the meaning behind the different elements of this project. Like I said, I'm pretty sure these are black-eyed peas. If those are black-eyed peas, then I'm pretty sure this is cornbread, which growing up in the South, in Georgia, that was a very common meal that we had quite regularly. So yeah. So I'm wondering if that is what that means. I've been stalking her Instagram trying to find what she has written about the different motifs. And I've already forgotten, but so this is moving right along. It's going to be meeting. Next time I work on this, I'll work on this side to get these two to meet a little bit and get some more done. So yeah, really looking forward to spending more time with this and being able to speak on it a little bit more eloquently, because there's a whole lot of words that just came out of my mouth that I don't think were right or made any sense. So that was my last cross stitch whip, and next will be my knitting projects. So I've got a lot of good stuff done with yarn this month since we last recorded. This project, I'm so afraid I'm going to lose a double-pointed needle here. This is Love Note. And I finally went, and I can't tell which is the front or back right this minute. But I picked up the stitches for one of the sleeves, and I've gotten just about 6 inches. I'm almost to the bottom of the hem of the sweater with the sleeve. So because of the proportions, I am thinking I'll have to try it on to see how I feel about the sleeve length. I don't really love the way it looks in the cover photo, the way that they have it styled. It's kind of like a mid-forearm length of the sleeve. It's not bad. It's just I would prefer a full length to my wrist. And I think I have enough yarn to do that and then come pick up the neckline. So I might bind off loosely just in case, but I do have 2 more skeins of the sock yarn and then 1 of the Surrey alpaca from Treehouse Knits. So this is the last of the Surrey, and then 2 more of these. And this is a spruce sock from Treehouse Knits in the colorway The Money Beats. 75 superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. This is slightly more warm toned. It's not quite as purpley in person. Camera's pulling cool. So, I love me some Treehouse Knits. I've got 3 projects on the go with yarn from her. All right, my next project that I kind of have been focusing on, and I'll tell you why when we get to the last project. This is my Wild Ivy pullover from Wool and Pine. Got some squirrel stitch stoppers for the needles. They're just adorable. I'm gonna leave them on there though. There we go. So this is the front, and this part of the pattern is the yoke setup. I have finished the yoke setup, and I'm ready to join in the round and start the lace design on the chest, the yoke. So really pleased with how this is coming along. I'm really enjoying how Wool and Pine are write their patterns. Very clear, very easy for me to follow, so I appreciate that. Yeah, it's going. I think I'm really enjoying this project. It's going great. I'm thinking about maybe blocking this before I join it in the round a little bit. We'll see. This is curling real bad. But I am using for this project Treehouse Knits Dove DK in the color Way I Am of Noble Blood. It's 100% superwash merino wool, and it's another purple project. It's more plummy, slightly more warm tone in person. Beautiful variegation. It's so soft and squishy, and I love it. And yeah, it's my favorite dyer. Last project. We have some things to talk about. This is the Grandpa Cardi from Hohi Locatelli. We are not speaking right now. Me and Grandpa. I need to get some stitch stoppers on these needles before something very unfortunate happens. I do have a lifeline, but just in case. Okay, so... Jeez. Hold please. What happened? I have to do a little yarn wrangling when I go to put everything up. So it doesn't look as bad as it felt when I was doing this. So the next step, after you finish the armhole increases, is to put these stitches on hold and come back up to your provisional cast on and start working the front section. So the parts that this is the back, and then the next part is from the shoulder, front of your shoulders down your front. And it was going pretty well, but then we did some setup rows, and then she just says, work in pattern. What pattern? I don't understand. It's a little vague. I understand that she can't write out everything in excruciating detail because that PDF would be 4,000 pages long. But I'm stumped. I'm stuck. I can't figure it out. Reddit tried to help. I did send a plea out on Ravelry in her group forum, so to speak, and I have not gotten an answer yet, but hopefully I will hear from someone. My local yarn store also does offer help sessions, so if I have to pay for that, I think it will be worth it because I really want to have the sweater, but not if it drives me absolutely bananas. My problem is you're supposed to start working the increases and the right front neck shaping, but the number of stitches that I cast on way back when doesn't match the chart number of stitches, so I can't for the life of me figure out where to adjust to do the chart, if that makes sense. I thought about just because I cast on more stitches than the chart has at the beginning of the rows you're supposed to work, and I was like, well, do I decrease? Because then I'm just going to go back and start increasing for the next shaping, so that doesn't seem right either. So this is going in timeout. I'm frustrated with it, and I'm not in a good headspace when I work on it because I am frustrated with it. So it's going in timeout. for a little while until I can make it to my LAS, which is fortunately very close. So it was a little disappointing, and you know, me and my big mouth, that's saying how great it was moving right along. So it's like Murphy's Law, I think. So, but for details, this yarn is the softest thing ever. I'm loving the yarn. The yarn has been delightful. My first Treehouse Knits yarn project in the River Anduin, Cashmere Elm DK. I don't know if she still dies on this base anymore. I really hope she does or brings it back or something, because it's amazing. 80% superwash merino wool, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. So soft. Just ever so slightly fuzzy and the most beautiful teal color. So hopefully I don't have to rip out that entire panel of cables and whatnot if this sweater is just absolutely not going to happen. So that's where I am with that. I'm going to focus on the Love Note and the Wild Ivy. And I do believe I need to check to see if I have the right size needles. I want to start swatching for the Wrap Me Up sweater scarf from Knititude. I have lots of her patterns. Actually, I picked up some lavender yarn from local yarn store day at the end of April. I'm obsessed with that particular shade of purple right now. I want everything to be lavender. So I'm going to swatch, see if I have the right size of needles, and or see if I can gauge, and start working on that. Because I'm really itching to do something with that yarn. It's just calling my name. It's beautiful, so that is my plan. Other plans is finish my raccoon. Keep working on my 2 June focus pieces. And I believe, let's see, next Friday, a week from today, will be Friday the 13th. So I do want to do a little bit of spooky stitching. I'm thinking I may kit up and start the Quirky Quaker Ghost pattern that Amy sent me from Darling and Whimsy. I think I have a fabric for that one. And then I kind of want to pull out my Haunted Mansion Mill Hill kit because it's been a really long time since I've touched that. So that's about it for plans. I don't have any haul. Well, I kind of have some things that I bought. There was story time. Okay. There is a Daiso has opened up in my town, or the town next over, real close to where I live, and it's the first one in Georgia, so it was kind of a big deal. And I got there, and it was like the line was wrapped all the way around the building, like I was behind the grocery store. It was insane. So at Daiso, that I waited in that long line for like a crazy person, I picked up some of the foam mats that interlock together like puzzle pieces. That will be perfect for blocking, because the ones made by like Knitter's Pride and other knitting companies are very expensive. Like very expensive. And then I think the ones from Dick's Sporting Goods, like the sporting goods stores that you use for like exercising and like putting under gym equipment and stuff, are actually kind of expensive too. So the ones from Daiso was $8 for a set of 9, something like that. So that was a great find, and I'm hoping I can use that to start finally blocking some stuff. I have a shawl that I finished years ago that's still needs a bath and a block, so that's really exciting. I have started working on, I was going to just go ahead and do it, but then I thought I might record it for this channel. Fully finishing one of my cross stitch pieces into a pillow. Also at Daiso, I got this hilarious contraption that goes around your neck and holds your phone. so I can do like a POV of like what I'm working on. So I'm gonna try to record me finishing that that cross stitch pattern into a pillow. It's the Happy Summer from the Frosted Pumpkin that I finished 2 summers ago, or 1. I don't remember. Regardless, that is something I want to try to do. So hopefully I can either turn it into a somewhat full-length video or a short or a reel, or we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm actually having ideas, which is new. But that's kind of it for crafting, any kind of hauls and everything. But Daiso was really cool. I definitely want to go back there and look at some goodies. Other than that, I've been reading some books. I finished Iron Flame. It's actually sitting under my fiance's camera right now, holding it up. And I started Onyx Storm. They're good. I like them. They're very entertaining. I kind of want to see where this goes. Apparently, there's 2 more books in this series to come. I feel like that's a lot. I kind of want it to be over after our Onyx Storm, so yeah. But yeah, they're cute. They're entertaining. I do enjoy them. So I'm working through those. When I go into the office twice a week, I don't really want to haul a big hardback book in my backpack. And it's the like special edition with the sprayed edges with the dragons and everything on it. So I don't really want the corners to get kind of beat up and everything either. So I've been taking my tablet, which also has my knitting patterns. And I downloaded from Libby the Pumpkin Spice Cafe from Lori Gilmore. It's super cute, cozy, fall, cozy vibes, kind of Hallmark movie romance. It's interesting. I do like it. It's very fluffy, not super deep thoughts, but it kind of just throws you right in the action with no prologue or setup or introduction to who or what or why. But you kind of get that later on. So it's not my favorite style, but it's fun to read while I'm eating my lunch. So I can't complain too much. It's pretty cute. So I guess stay tuned for my review, my excellent review of these pieces of literature. Let's see. Other than that, the studio just had its season finale. Pretty funny, pretty hilarious, very wild. It was very like The Hangover. If you remember that movie with Bradley Cooper from several years back, that's a lot like that. Very funny. Since there aren't going to be any new episodes of The Studio for a while, the new season's not out yet, or hasn't been filmed yet, or something. We started watching the Paul Rubens documentary on Apple Plus. And if you don't know, Paul Rubens is the creator, man who played Pee Wee Herman. It's been very interesting. He was a very interesting character. We've watched the first episode, I believe. So far, there are only 2. I don't know if they're going to add more, if that's it, but we're going to watch the second episode pretty soon here. I actually recommend it. It's well done. It's very interesting. He kind of made his own documentary about his life, so that does add an interesting spin to it for sure. I also had no idea that he didn't actually talk like that, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, he had a really interesting life, so if that's something you think you might be interested, I do recommend it if you have Apple Plus or know someone who can let you use their account. We really like it. So that's something we've enjoyed watching together. And that is everything I've been doing, watching, working on, reading. So I believe that will be the end of this video. If you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I'm so glad you spent this time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next update here on YouTube. And take care of yourselves. Bye.